My cousin Mara was to be born on February 25th, 2004, yet passed away 2.5 hours after being born. She had a rare lethal genetic disorder called Meckel-Gruber syndrome. She had enlarged kidneys with numerous fluid-filled cysts and an occipital encephalocele, which is a sac-like protrusion of the brain on the back of the skull. My great-grandma, Anna Marie, died after a quadruple cardiac bypass and further complications of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. While I never had the chance to meet her, I was named after her, for she was not only my mom's grandma, but her best friend. She herself was the inspiration for why my mom chose to become a nurse. While I've watched my mom work in the medical field for more years than I've been alive, I was 100% certain that medicine was not for me. I've had a first-hand seat into seeing the strenuous responsibility and dedication it takes. Some of my earliest childhood memories include those of my mom working 20-plus hour shifts at the hospital. I've seen the mental and physical exhaustion it's taken while she pursues her passion in helping others. Time is taken naturally in any job, especially one involving medicine, so I'm always asked why I would want to pursue such a high-demanding one such as cardiology. The unique thing about being a doctor or nurse or EMT is that the beauty that comes from situations that seem helpless and broken, such as that of my cousins and great-grandmas. You see, the theme that draws me into a world such of helplessness and brokenness is that of empathy and compassion. From my mom, I've learned that being a doctor requires skill and knowledge, but the qualities that can be learned are that of choosing to step into a hurting person's world and doing everything you can to help. Pursuing medicine has become a passion of mine that I hope to find a career in one day, but this idea of failure scares me. Humanity as a culture looks down upon failure, creating this sense of worthlessness and inadequacy. We are human because we aren't perfect, and in that we are made worthy and redeemed through God's grace. Throughout my experiences, I want to step into these people's lives and their broken worlds. As a person who loves people and someone who wants to learn to fail well, for the medical field is full of failures. The specific area of medicine that I mentioned earlier that I'm interested in studying is cardiology. The interesting thing to me about cardiology is the heart, its core placement in the human body. The human body is complicated and mysterious. The bones, the muscles, the way everything intertwines, dancing around one another to create a vast melody of pulses. This vast and mysterious place that keeps us alive intrigues me. The heart specifically is the center of who we are, literally and metaphorically. In simple terms, it's a pump that keeps blood flowing throughout our bodies, that keeps us breathing, moving, thinking, and simply just being. This past summer, I had the opportunity to go to Baltimore to attend a 10-day medical program convention at Johns Hopkins. While I was there, I was not only able to hear from world-renowned doctors of their experiences, but I was also able to see, touch, and experience a day in the life of a doctor myself. We were able to visit the Baltimore Trauma Center, one of the highest trauma centers in the world. Walking through it, I was able to see many patients in beds, many hooked to tubes, monitors, many in comas, multiple severely injured. To be honest, it was a lot to take in. Seeing these helpless people hurting was so heartbreaking. All you wanted to do was help, but all you could do was step back and watch. We then were put into a staged experience where we acted as family doctors ourselves. I was given a folder in which I read a chart on the patient's family history, vitals, symptoms, the general information. I was then told to go into the room where I introduced myself, asked them basic information about their lifestyle, their hobbies, their families, anything I could try and come to a conclusion of what to diagnose them with. In this initial moment of being a doctor, I felt sophisticated, put together, confident. But as the time went on, sitting there, so many thoughts ran through my head, and I realized my incompetency to do it well. Frankly, I am only 17 years old, so diagnosing a patient is unrealistic, but it was an eye-opening moment into seeing what doctors do on a daily basis. Through it, I learned how much I enjoy people. Doctors diagnose patients, they find the problems, they try and find a solution to the problems. But what's forgotten majority of the time is that they step into this patient's world trying to get to know them. A doctor stepping into someone's world, into their life, their impact is often overlooked, majority of the time. Health in itself is a vulnerable topic, and for a person to be transparent with their doctor demands a high amount of trust and respect. Doctors have relationships with their patients. That's the beauty of the field. That's why I love it. Qualities, again, of doctors include many years of skill, knowledge, schooling, but it also requires that of empathy and compassion. Empathy is an emotional identification of both heart and mind. This meaning that caring and skill go hand in hand with one another. A doctor who may know all but lacks the ability to empathize with their patients can't do their job to the fullest. As I've begun looking into the area of medicine, the idea of helping people has become more interesting to me than ever. Doctors are human, just as their patients. They are called to step into their world with a healing hand. Just as Jesus says in Matthew 10:8, "Heal the sick, raise the dead, and cure those with leprosy. Give as freely as you have received." I want to try and help those in need, just as he helps me when I need him. Being a doctor requires a full effort of trying to fix people's problems, yet there comes this point when they simply can't be fixed. This idea is the hardest thing for me to grasp about being a doctor. This idea of stepping back and giving up on this person in a sense feels like failure to me. However, I'm beginning to learn that failure is only present in the face of apathy. When motivation to attempt obstacles that seem bigger than we are simply get dismissed because of excuses, that's when failure takes its name. I had the opportunity to talk to Mr. Cooper, head of our high school, who is said to be a man full of wisdom, which proved true after asking him how he would personally define failure. He told me, "Failure is the nature of the human condition. We have fallen short and sinned, and therefore we have to learn to embrace that. Failure is falling and choosing to not grow and take a step forward." Being a leader, he told me, requires willingness to fail. He says, "If you're on the precipice of epic failure, then you're right where you need to be." This piece of advice has stuck with me ever since. The idea of going face to face with failure and having to be there in order to even have a glance at success terrifies me. As a person, a daughter, a friend, I don't ever want to be seen as weak. I don't ever want to be seen as a failure. Yet after talking with Mr. Cooper, he's opened my eyes to what I've been missing. If I want to stand firm in this race we call life, I have to be willing to take risk. I'm beginning to realize that I will never be the truest version of myself when I'm successful. I'm the most pure version of myself in the way that I choose to deal with failures. My passion is to simply help those around me, hopefully one day through the medical field. This white coat that doctors strive to obtain, that doesn't define their character. Their character gives value to that white coat. Careers amplify your passions and desires, and I hope that I can find my joy in my job one day, despite the obstacles and challenges that I will face along the road trying to knock me down. Choosing medicine is choosing to stand on the precipice of uncertainty, and I hope that one day I can choose to face that challenge. The medical field has a vast array of specialties and practices, all unique in their own way. While I may be interested in cardiology at this time, I've been told countless times, and throughout this experience it's proved true, that my mind could potentially change. Dr. Karen Thomas, the cardiologist I was able to interview this past fall, told me of her journey of getting to where she is to this day. She told me she was interested in orthopedics, and then family medicine, and then pediatrics and infectious diseases until she finally fell in love with cardiology. For me personally, I've always been interested in cardiology, but also that of neurology and general surgery. So I've never been sure which one I should really focus on. But again, I am only 17 years old, so hearing this has really helped me know that I don't have to have all my life decisions made right now. Anyone who knows me may know that I'm an organizer, a planner, bit of a perfectionist. I like the idea of knowing exactly what's to happen and when it's supposed to happen. Yet this is not reality. Along with exploring the cardiology field, I was also able to step into a general surgeon's world in the OR. I shadowed Dr. Nadlonik at Sky Ridge Medical Center, getting to experience her day. I was able to watch a peritoneal dialysis catheter replacement, which took roughly around 2 hours. The preparations, the amount of surgical instruments, the amount of people in the OR, so overwhelming. Everything went smoothly, luckily, and then the room quickly transitioned into the next case, a colectomy. Both surgeries were laparoscopic, meaning that Dr. Nadlonik made incisions in each of the patient's bellies and placed surgical instruments in them and watched her movements and cuts and precisions through a monitor. I was also able to watch every move on this monitor. I could not take my eyes off of it. She would make the most precise internal cuts and movements. This sounds crazy, but it was so peaceful and still in the OR. A person's life was on the table in the doctor's hands, literally. Yet she remained calm through the entire thing. However, a complication inevitably did come up. The device to test the newly reconstructed colon was nowhere to be found in the hospital. Pure chaos took its form within seconds in the OR. People coming in and out, phones ringing off the hook, Dr. Nadlonik demanding this device, yet she remained calm throughout the entire chaotic event that happened. The device was found and the surgery was ultimately a success. But surprisingly, Dr. Nadlonik pulled me aside after the surgery and told me that she usually never gets stern and demanding while in the OR, but it's necessary when this person's life is in your hands, and it's okay. I did not want to leave the OR after this. I remember sitting there watching the surgery as a child seeing snow for the first time. I was purely amazed. I had this light bulb, this moment of realization that this is exactly what I want to do for the rest of my life. The chaos, the stress, the intensity of every single part of it from beginning to end. Yet the overwhelming sensation of excitement trumped all of those feelings of uncertainty. The doctor, in a sense, she was on the precipice of epic failure. For a number of things could have potentially gone wrong. Yet she remained calm, and surgery was a success in the end. In the moment, it wasn't about her career, her reputation, or her. It was about this patient. That's what I want. That's what I love. Doctors put aside their ego, their pride, their problems, and instead they focus on this patient and helping them. I want to step into another person's world, and I want to do every single thing I can to help. And I hope to do this through medicine. My passion for people and my passion for medicine make a lot of who I am at the core of my character. I've always aimed for perfection, being the best if not better. My own standards have created this perspective that if I don't live up to being the best, that I'm automatically a failure. I've distorted the definition of failure, allowing it to define my own character. Life is too short to put forth an unrealistic goal of obtaining success. Success cannot be reached unless failure is right alongside with it. And I'm starting to begin to define failure and success for myself. To the world, success is defined by the materialistic items, your wealth, your status, you name it. Yet success to me isn't defined by what I have. It's who I am. My passion for people inspires me, inspires happiness and utter joy, along with pursuing medicine. I've learned that I'm the most transparent version of myself when I'm doing what I love. Capstone at the end of this year did not go as planned. Life didn't go as planned for any of us. Chaos hit everyone straight on, and the only thing to do was sit back and watch. Seeing the panic in everyone, seeing the medical teams, including my mom, work day in and day out, I just wanted to help. The medical field is so much more than fixing and healing people. It's about humility and patience. This time, whether reflecting on being in the medical field or not, I've really began to find patience within myself. A pandemic itself brings a lot of emotion. It brings a lot of failures. But seeing people keep fighting on despite the disheartening circumstances just goes to show how much strength everyone has. More than most have. I aspire to find that patience, that drive, and that strength within myself to hopefully one day pursue people with everything I have. COVID-19 has taken a lot from all of us, but reflecting on it, it's given me a lot also. It's amplified my desire to pursue what I love and the people that I love. I started to learn how to live in the present moment instead of being so focused on the future. While Capstone has allowed me to dive deeper into my interests, it's also allowed me to take a step back and just breathe. I've begun to see the bigger picture of life and the image of the person I hope to become one day. You are what you love, and I'm beginning to learn what I love and why I love it. I want to take risks, I want to have experiences, and I want to learn to fail well. I hope to expand beyond the realms of just medicine. I've grown to know that I love people, and I've grown to know that I love medicine. So I hope, to the best of my ability, I can use those to grow the kingdom. To understand the world around us, we must first understand ourselves. I'm slowly learning how to cope with this idea of failure, for there will be many incidences in my life that I will fall, but I want to know how to pick myself back up and keep going, pursuing what I love. The world is a broken and mysterious place, just like that of the human body. I want to take time to dive deeper into learning about each of them and finding ways to help. Being a doctor doesn't just mean having the title, the certificate, the white coat. Being a doctor means being dedicated, passionate, and hardworking. I strive to learn and attempt to demonstrate those qualities to the best of my ability. The medical field is a place full of beautiful chaos. The heart is fragile just as people are, yet when cared for properly, healing and growth is the inevitable outcome. Thank you.